Last week, the GTX 1080 was offered for $450 on 2 instances. With these types of prices for the 10 series, does it even make sense to wait for the 1100 series? Welcome to Hari's Hobbies. So if you guys didn't notice already, GPU prices have been dramatically falling, at least in the US, for both AMD and Nvidia, and GPU prices are hitting all-time lows. For example, $450 for the GTX 1080 is the lowest that we have ever seen. Also, other cards aren't doing bad either. Right now, you can get a GTX 1060 6GB card for $270, a GTX 1070 for $400, and you can even get a GTX 1080 Ti for less than MSRP for $650. To determine if you should wait for the 1100 series, the performance of the 1100 series is very important. So how well will the 1100 series perform? Well, here's the truth. The 1100 series is not going to be a game changer. It is most likely not going to have ray tracing technology or tensor cores, and if it does, it will be reserved for the top level cards, so it really won't affect the average consumer. However, at the same time, it is not going to be just a rebrand of the 10 series, because it will most likely have GDDR6 memory and be on the 12nm architecture. And we should be seeing a solid boost over Pascal at about 20%, so that would come out to about 1 increment level. So for example, the GTX 1160 should be around the performance of the GTX 1070, and the GTX 1170 should be on the performance of the GTX 1080, and so on and so forth. So pretty much on all levels of GPUs except for the flagship, the GPU boost should be pretty significant. And the reason that the GPU boost isn't that significant on the flagship products is because the GTX 1180 Ti isn't going to be coming out yet. Once that comes out, that will be a lot better than the GTX 1080 Ti. So overall, the performance of the 1100 series will be a good boost over the 10 series, but it won't be anything too major. So, how much is the 1100 series going to cost? Well, right now there are so many rumors, and they really are just all speculation. And this one rumor is even suggesting that the GTX 1160 is going to cost $500. Now, I'm not sure who came up with this, but that makes no sense whatsoever. The GTX 1160 will at best be as good as the GTX 1080, which it probably won't be. But even in such a scenario, the GTX 1080 is less than $500 right now. So why would anybody buy a GTX 1160 when they can just go out and buy GTX 1080 for a cheaper price and get more performance? On top of that, if they went the GTX 1080 route, they can get third-party variants of the GTX 1080 instead of just a Founders Edition of the GTX 1160. So in my opinion, $500 for the GTX 1160 is completely false. Nvidia isn't stupid. They know that the GTX 1160 is a mid-level card and they're not going to price it so high. Now, there may be a little price increase over the last generation of cards. For example, the GTX 1160 6GB card may cost $330 instead of $300 with the 1060 6GB card, and the 1180 may cost $750 instead of $700 like the GTX 1080. But really, that's the only difference we're going to be seeing, up to $50. And I really doubt that a bigger difference than that will occur, because once again, it really just doesn't make sense. And all of you guys who are suggesting that Nvidia is going to launch the 1100 series for an expensive price so that it still makes sense for people to buy the 10 series, well, I don't think that is true, because the 10 series is dropping so much in price. So why would that happen if the GTX 1100 series is going to be more expensive? In that case, the 10 series could have just maintained MSRP and the 1100 series could have came in for a more expensive price. But since the 10 series is dropping so much in price right now, I really doubt that is going to happen. And finally, when exactly is the 1100 series coming out? Well, again, we really don't have any solid evidence of anything right now. However, it has been over 2 years since the 10 series came out, and I know that a lot of you guys are like, well, that's not that long of a time, but this is one of the longest running series for Nvidia. Also, you may be saying that Nvidia is not going to release the 1100 series right now because there is no competition from AMD to do so. But even if there is no competition, even though there is no competition from AMD right now, Nvidia can't just keep pushing forward without releasing the 1100 series, especially with how much hype there is around it. On top of this, releasing the 1100 series will only boost sales more for Nvidia, so why would they avoid doing that? Plus, Nvidia and add-in board partner sales during the second quarter of this year were actually a lot lower than usual, so it makes sense for Nvidia to come out with the new series right now to boost their sales. And what better way is there to boost sales other than launching a new series right before the holiday season of 2018? Also, GDDR6 memory production has already been going on for quite a while now, and I don't think that's just a coincidence. So keeping all this in mind, all the main cards of the 1100 series, which are the 1180, 1170, and 1160, should come out within the next 3 months. So overall, the 1100 series will be a solid upgrade over the GTX 10 series. It's not going to be a game changer, but it will be a good upgrade. Also, it may be a little bit more expensive than the 10 series launched for, but it's not going to be super expensive like some rumors suggest. So, should you buy a 10 series card right now or wait for the GTX 1100 series? Well, in my honest opinion, this really comes down to personal preference. Do you want the newest tech available and want to be up to date, or do you want the best value available? If you want the best value, then the 10 series is definitely the way to go. Whether you buy it right now for a really great discount or you wait for the 1100 series to come out for the 10 series prices to drop even more and then buy it then. Either way, the 10 series is definitely not going to be beaten by the 1100 series in terms of value. So if you're looking for value, go with the 10 series. However, if you want the newest tech with all the little new features and a slight performance edge over the 10 series and you're okay with paying a little bit more for the 1100 series, then the 1100 series is for you. In the end, both of these series will perform really well and last for a very long time. And as a result, it really just comes down to personal preference and what you value more. Do you care more about price for performance or having the newest technology available? But that's pretty much all I have for you guys right now. So are you guys going to be waiting for the 1100 series, or are you going to be buying a 10 series GPU right now or when the 1100 series comes out? Make sure to comment down below what you guys think, because I do read all my comments and I'm curious as to what you guys think, so make sure to post your thoughts. Also, if you guys like this video, then make sure to drop a like and consider subscribing if you would like to see more videos just like this one. But until next time, this is Hari, and I'll see you guys on the next one.